When I wanted to do my driver's license, I didn't actually ask a lot of questions. I just looked around and I went to the school which was closest to me. That happened to be one of my biggest mistakes because I ended up spending so much money, and I will tell you why. Welcome guys, and on this video I want to talk quickly about the German driving license and how I ended up spending more than 5,000 euros in my case. So pay attention and watch. If you're planning to do your license soon or you're already in the process, maybe you're going to learn something from it. So mistake number one, take the theory preparation really serious, right? Don't be in a hurry to register yourself or jump into the exam hall wanting to take this exam, even though your school might tell you, you know what, they barely have appointment dates for this exam. And please just take your time, go through the questions which you would usually find on the apps that will be given to you by the school. Study this every day till you perfect every questions. Of course, not every questions, but maybe 90% of the questions that you would have from the catalog, which is I think about 1,080 questions. Perfect every question from there, and you should be fine. Because in my case, what happened was that I sort of rushed into this exam because I was worried that they might not get like an appointment for me sooner. So I took the first one. It didn't go well. They gave me another appointment date the next week immediately. I jumped into it. Also didn't go well. And the third time they proposed the 1 week interval date for me, and I was like, you know what? No, I want to actually take my time to prepare for the exam. So I went back home and I started studying more for these exams. And finally on the third trial, I think I passed the exam. If you can pass the exam on one trial, that would save you a lot of time and also build your confidence somehow. That's the story for another day. But try to do that, and if you can get that really right, then you should be fine. The next point I want to mention is to find a really good school to get yourself registered with. This is the main point, right? Because for me, this was actually my problem. When I wanted to do my driver's license, I didn't actually ask a lot of questions. I just looked around and I went to the school which was closest to me. That happened to be one of my biggest mistakes because I ended up spending so much money, and I will tell you why. So what happened was I went there and I registered for myself and I started going, and then as time would go by, it was actually hard for me to get like a driving class appointment. They would always be booked. So sometimes I would get one appointment date in 2 weeks. So when we go there, it feels like we're just doing the same thing we've done 2 weeks ago. Sometimes the tutor would even forget what he taught me the last time, and it will be like, what did we even do the last time? I think let's just take a spin. So I kept on doing the same thing over and over and over again. This time around, I've done up to like 50 classes, right? Coupled with the same thing, and I kept on telling them, hey, I feel like we're not making any progress. Let's sort of hasten things up. But that wasn't the case. They kept on pushing back, and like I said, it was also really hard to get like an appointment. So it felt like everything was just moving so slow. And coupled with the fact that I was doing these lessons with a very old man who, in my own opinion, had like sort of anger issues, I would say, and wasn't the best when it comes to patience, right? So he would actually feel, I don't know how to put it. You know this feeling when you're, it is common for people who come from my community. So when you're maybe driving with an elder brother and he's like scolding you often on the car, and you know you're not just feeling so comfortable with the person, and that was the case. So I wasn't really feeling comfortable with this guy because he would nag, he would sometimes be a little bit aggressive when I make some mistakes, and which was not supposed to be the case, right? Because I'm there to learn. But this kept on going on, and I kept on doing classes, over 50 classes, to the point whereby I felt like, okay, you know what, these guys are just here to drain me and take my money. I think as at the time it was almost getting up to 4K, and yeah, they kept on doing the same thing. one day I had to go there with a friend, and this friend also saw the way they were communicating with me and how they were talking, and we're like, yeah, I don't think this place is the best for you. So I ended up going to a new school that day. I just took the bold step. I was like, you know what, guys, I'm done. Give me the transcript for all the classes I've done, over 50 classes, 50 driving lessons, and they pulled it out for me. So we went to another school which was close by. This time around, I called a friend of mine who I knew back then that had done a driving license in the same city, and he told me this was the school he went to, and the guys were really nice. They were really, accommodating and all that. So I went there. Behold, it was just exactly how he described them. They were really nice. They even told me, I don't know if this was a marketing strategy at the point, but they told me that they've had a lot of applicants or students come from the school which I was coming from later to join them. So that it is often the case that people come to them with complaints from this previous school. So that was it. I had to pay extra, I think about 800 euros just to re-register myself with the new school. But I'm not going to lie, it was worth it. Because at first when the guy took me for a drive, he told me, you know what, he's not going to be able to tell how many classes I would have to do, or he needs to see how well I drive. So we went for a drive the first day, and it was like, to be honest, it feels like I'm driving already well. I just need to do the 12 compulsory driving lessons, which would be, I think, 4 in the night, 3 in the highways and all that. And that was something the previous school wouldn't do. We just kept on making a spin around the city every time, up to 50 classes plus. And when I went to the new school, the guy was like, yeah, I think it's time already to make the mandatory classes. So we went and we started that. And even the day he told me, you know what, I feel like you actually prepared for the exam, I was a little bit overwhelmed, because I felt like, you know what, I don't know if I would really actually pass the exam. And he told me, you just have to drive the same way you've been driving with me the last couple of 2 weeks. If you drive the same way, do the same thing, just follow the rules, just act like I'm actually still the one on the seat, on the front seat, because usually there would be like the guy from the exams center who would come to the front seat to monitor you on the day of the practical test. So yeah, he scheduled an exam for me, and then we went to this exam in the morning and straight up did the whole thing. It went smooth, and I passed the practical exam on one try, and then I got my license. And when I got back home, I started putting all the costs together that I incurred, included the one from the previous school and the new one, and having to switch schools and all that. I think everything summed up to about 5,700 euros or more. And so if you're watching this, please, if you're planning to do your license already, or you're already in the process, make sure that you find yourself in a school whereby people are really accommodating. And if you feel, or you have the feeling that you're not being, you're not getting the value for your money from the school where you are, don't be tied down. Don't feel like, there's no other option. I would advise you, check some other schools, but before you do that, also make sure you ask questions to understand what those people would maybe feel like to work with them. And do that. And also for the theory exams, prepare very well. Don't be in a hurry to go into it. Just take this app, which the schools will usually give you. You have to download it and go through every questions that you can. The ones you would fail, repeat them again till you master them, and just take your time. And hopefully you get to achieve the driver's license someday. I'm not gonna lie, it's a very nice one, because there's a nice feeling that comes with being mobile, right? So you know that you can actually drive, and just makes things a little bit easy for you when you want to move, when you need to get something in a hurry and all that. Yeah, that's all I have to say. So if you find this video useful, please like, subscribe, and comment if you have questions. And otherwise, I'm going to see you on the next one. Ciao.